Welcome to the Red Pill Podcast. I am Van Lathan. Today, we are sponsored by Bevel. Support for today's podcast comes from Bevel. Now, Bevel is the first and only shaving system designed for people with coarse, curly, and sensitive skin. It is also a Black-owned business, and when you shop with Bevel, you are shopping with the highest quality razor situation out there. So it just proves you don't have to roll back quality to shop Black. It's for your hair, it's for your skin. It is an amazing company. Go to getbevel.com/redpill to check out the full line of Bevel products and get $20 off your Bevel shaving kit or Bevel trimmer with free shipping. That's getbevel.com/redpill. Support for today's episode also comes from Talkspace. Talkspace is an online therapy company that lets you message a licensed therapist from anywhere at any time. I struggle with issues of anxiety. I'm actually off my Lexapro right now, so I don't know how this whole podcast today is going to go. But Talkspace will match you with your perfect therapist for a fraction of the price of traditional therapy. Just go to Talkspace/pill. That's Talkspace/PILL. And use the code PILL to get $45 off your first month and show your support for this show. Talkspace. Therapy for how we live today. White people today, clap for Damien Wayans.
Oh, man. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Stop it.
Damien Wayans.
Stop it.
Right now.
It. Oh, my God.
Actor, director, writer, producer, friend of the show, and member of the legendary Wayans family.
The only Wayans that would come. Is that what you was about? That's what you was about to say, wasn't you? I get where this is going.
Now, full disclosure in this interview. Full disclosure. Full. We've already taped this podcast, meaning we taped the podcast with Damian before, and it was a fantastic podcast. It was great. We touched on all different types of things. Me and Damian been vibing since then, talking.
Vibes.
It's a mini friendship Voltron situation happening right here.
It's bonded. It's happening.
It's happening.
Yeah.
Since we've taped that podcast, though, some things have happened.
Absolutely. A lot of things have happened.
And we thought it was only fair to the listeners of the Red Pill that we do this again so that we can stay current.
Oh, that's why we're doing it again. I thought we were doing this again because I didn't have a movie or a TV show to promote, so you didn't really know how to really make it splash out there. So he was like, "Let's remix this. Let's do a hot topic show."
You know what? No, it was like we have a slightly larger audience now.
Ooh,
and so when we're talking to you, bro, we just wanted it to be fresh. But I do want to touch on some of the things that we did talk about in the other podcasts.
Let's do it, man. You know, the Van effect, I can feel it in the air. You know,
what does that mean?
There's a thing going, #Van effect. What's happening is after that Kanye West, Van is on a whole nother level. You know, Van used to hit you right back. Now it's going to take about 3-4 hours before Van gets you back.
That's not true.
He became Kanye. He became Kanye. Van West.
Only for that one brief time, but just because there was so many text messages coming through. Chill out, dog. But listen, Damien Wayans, that last name holds a lot of weight. Tell us a little bit about, your family, your interest into the business, what it means to be a member of that family, and how you first got that spark. Because we know you from a lot of things. We know you from Major Pain. We know you from, you directed, some people might not know that, Dance Flick.
I did.
Okay. And then you were also in movies like Malibu's Most Wanted that really didn't have anything to do with the family. So I guess give us a little bit of your backstory coming in, and how you became who you are.
I'm Damien Dante Wayans. You know, there's a lot of D's in the family. You got Damon Wayans Sr., you got Damon Wayans Jr., and then myself. So, I like to throw that Dante in there so y'all know which one we talking to.
Got you.
But yeah, my family's been in the business well over 30 years. Uncle Keenan's the pioneer. We call him the godfather of the family. He's the one that literally set it off. He dropped out of college, came to Hollywood. Grandma cursed him out several times, but he said, I'm going to do this. And when he became rich, she applauded him. Yes, indeed. Yeah. And then Uncle Damon went out And then it kind of just trickled from there. Marlon and Sean, and, you know, I was just the little one kind of just assessing the whole situation. I like to say my family was my college, right? I didn't go to college. I didn't go to school to direct. I didn't go to school to write. I kind of just absorbed it and was a sponge to all their knowledge. So when I started acting at the tender age of like 7, 8 on Eddie Murphy Raw, check me out. I had one line in that, but it was a crucial line. It kicked off the whole movie. And then from there, my mom kind of removed me from it. And then once
Your mom removed. Now, why was that?
Because, you know, the brutal goings of the business, she just was like, you ain't ready for this. You know what I mean? As much as I wanted to do it, she just knew that. I think I went out for the Cosby Show back in the day. I think I went out for Bud and I bombed. And she said, yeah, we're gonna sit you down for a little bit. Right. And not until I did Major Pain did I really get the bug. I was like, this is what I want to do. And I'm going full throttle at it. And ever since then, from the writing to the directing, it all just became hyphenate, you know, from that point on. And yeah, man.
Now, how did you get Major Pain?
Funny.
And if you guys don't know, I'm sure everyone's seen Major Pain. If you the hip hop cadet, the one that was always dancing.
Yeah.
That was you and
that
Major
was me.
Pain.
Yeah. Cadet Williams. I think it was Derek Williams was the name. But yeah, I got that. There was one day my uncle Damien was in New York City, and he called my mom. And he said, "I want to see Damian at my hotel." And my mom brought me there. And as soon as I walked in, I was like, "What's up, Uncle D?" He was like, "I want you to read this," and he threw a script on the table. And I was like, "What's this?" He was like, "Read it and tell me what you think." So I read it, and then I was like, "Yo," I said, "There's this one character in there that's dope, yo." Like the hip hop dude in there. He was like, "That's the one I want you to be." And then he said, "Your audition's in 2 days." And I was like, audition? Like in my mind, I thought I just had the part. Right. So I remember going.
So you had to audition?
I absolutely had to audition. I had to audition for him and the director. And I remember going to Marlon and telling Marlon, "Yo, I got to audition." And me and Marlon just practiced like all night. And he was like, "Yeah, do that. And yeah, add this. And I remember going in and I remember seeing, remember the light-skinned kid from Criss Cross?
Yeah,
I remember seeing him in the audition room,
and you was like, "I'm fucked."
Yeah, like you always like when you go into audition, especially like when you're starting out, like you'll read the names before you on the call sheet. And this is what I'm gonna tell to any aspiring actor: never read the names of the people that went in before you, or never look at the people around you. Just go in and just kind of laser focus in it, because so many things get in your head and you psych yourself out, and you in there with the shivering paper, and you just lose your whole mojo. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I was so locked into the character that I went in and I did my thing. I did everything that we practiced the whole nine. I remember the director laughing, and I remember Uncle Damon not laughing until the director laughed, because he didn't want to give me no extra advantage. And then I left, and then I got it.
You know what my dad calls what you just talked about? Not reading the names off. My father calls it the empty jersey technique. So when I was playing basketball, I had the tendency to be really fixated on the things, or any sport, on the opposition, right? Because I did a lot of research. I was a cerebral kid. I would really fixate on the opposition. And my father would be like, prepare just like you prepare, because I would be sitting down. I would go to other games and watch them and all that stuff like that. Prepare just like you prepare. Train your body just like you train your body. But once you get to that point to where you're completely prepared, don't even consider that there's a human being in front of you. It's just a jersey. It's an empty jersey. Where who you're playing against is the rim. What you're playing against is the ball. Your other teammates matter more than. So whatever, you don't get concerned about the competition or the opposition. Just be concerned about your preparation.
I love that.
And then that, no matter who's in front of you, you're still going to be able to perform.
Still doing your thing. I love that.
And sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't, but don't get psyched out. You having auditioned as much as you have auditioned here and been through that, how hard is that? How hard is it not to be like in Hollywood, being competitive and being like, "Yo, man, Kevin Hart just got this," or who were the guys you were competing with that you were doing roles with when you were coming up and stuff like that?
Man, it was all them cats. It was the Kevin Harts. It was the Nick Cannons. It was the Corey Hardricks. It was the anybody that got a name now was them cats then. You know what I mean? So for me, I always tell people, you know, persistence and passion, you know, you have to have that. You have to have laser focus, because you're going to hear 1,000 no's before you hear that one yes that can just change your life forever. You know what I mean? That one moment, you know what I mean? Like there's always a signature moment in everybody's journey. You know what I mean? We may look back years from now and say that Kanye moment was your moment. You know what I'm saying? You just never know when that moment comes for people. But as long as you stay afloat, because I know a lot of cats that come out here get discouraged and then go back to wherever they came from or just belly up. You know what I mean? I always say just stay afloat. As long as you can stay afloat, you know, pay your bills, you know what I mean? Get a roommate if you got to, study the craft, and when your number's called, you just got to be ready. You know what I mean? You can't drop the ball when your number's called. You got to be ready to rock and roll.
Now, would you say that being part of the family, did it insulate you in a way from some of the other things that maybe actors out here have to deal with? Did you have maybe more of something that you could fall back on, or was it as cutthroat for you as it was for some of the others?
I think even more, and you know, we tried to tap into that with this show that we had, short-lived show that we had on BET called Second Generation Wayans. We wanted to tell a lot of those stories in that show. We just didn't have the opportunity to tell it. You know, there's a gift and a curse to being a Wayans. You know, the gift is you're Wayans, and that name is well known. But the curse is
royalty.
Yeah, but the curse is you got to come in and now they expect you to be Marlon, or they expect you to be your Uncle Damien, or they expect you to be, you know, the guys that are already on. And you're sitting back like, give me the opportunity to shine and I can show you. But, you know, in this business, you got to learn maybe sometimes 5-7 pages in a day and go in and they expect you to, you know what I mean, to knock it out the park. And you're like, nah, man, let me just get my rhythm. Let me get my thing. You ain't got no time for rhythm. You know what I mean? You got to come in and knock it out the park. And then having that last name Wayans, then the light is even brighter on you because that name is so synonymous. And don't go in for a comedy, because now they really expect you to really kill it. You know what I mean? And then another problem is they only expect you to do comedy. You know, there's so many other realms that we love to play in. Like Marlon, one of Marlon's best roles to date is Requiem for a Dream. You know what I mean? I tell him that all the time. And that's a drama. That's a drama like no other.
It's depressing. It's more than drama. That movie right there, if you guys haven't seen Requiem for a Dream, directed by Darren Aronofsky, one of the most shocking, affecting movies that you could ever watch. Marlon Wayans is in that, not as a comedy guy, as an actor. For
real. Like he let out his LaGuardia chops in that.
Seriously,
yeah,
man.
For real.
So, I mean, is it for you being a member of the family? Did you feel like you had to go into show business? Did you feel like is that the Wayans family business? Because the family's rather large, right? It's not just we only hear about the guys that are kind of in the spotlight, and the family's kind of big. So was there pressure to do it?
Nah, and there's this thing that I say all the time. There's a lot of unfunny Wayanses. You just don't see them. Like we just hide them. You know what I mean? But there are Wayanses that do other things. You know, certain ones just get bit by that bug, and some sooner than later. Like, you know, myself, Damon Jr., you know, all the uncles, my Aunt Kim, you know, my sister does stand up. You know, a lot of us, it's rare. You know, it's God sent that you have this many people that are actually working in the business. You know, there's a lot of aspiring that you don't see, but you know, there's a nice crop of us that are actually working, and I mean that's just a testament. I give that to grandma.
You know something that you said the last time you were here?
The last time that you will not air because I'm not popular enough. Oh, I understand. I see what's true. No, I see what's going on, man.
What you said, that it's not like you were born in the family is obviously doing really well right now. But it's not like you were born into that. Like, this happened during your lifetime that you guys got all of this stuff.
Yeah.
So your background wasn't, like, super rich.
No, not at all. I grew up in the projects, 17th Street, 9th Avenue, Fulton Projects, just like the fam. I mean, you go there now, we lose all our street cred because it's gentrified like crazy. Right. Like, you got clubs there now, you got Tao, you got all this crazy stuff. But when we grew up there, it was project living. My grandma did an amazing job. My grandpa did an amazing job with all the 10 kids that they had. And then my mom had me at a young age. You know, my mom had me at 16. So, little fetus having a fetus. So it was a struggle, but within that, some of the best moments came from struggle. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, either when I'm directing on something or I'm writing on something, I always draw back to those times because there's a lot of characters in the hood as well. You know what I mean? So I think that kind of just sharpened the knife a bit.
Right. So as things start to change for you guys and as stuff start to build, what did that do to the family dynamic? Did the success that everybody was having and all of that stuff, did the Wayans family ever change? Was it ever stressed? I mean, because other families have issues like I loan money to people.
Yeah.
Like people borrow money because they see me on television and they go, Van got the money, ask Van for the money.
Yep.
I would imagine in a family like you guys, the regular family issues get exacerbated to a point to where it's even a bigger deal.
Let me tell you something, brother.
Is it the same or is it different?
Listen, no family is immune to being on TV and someone asking for a loan.
Right.
It's just going to happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? One thing, we've never had a family reunion. And
really?
we've never had a family reunion. We do Thanksgivings and, things of that nature, but by the time the fam got on, the family reunion thing was kind of like, hold on, like you don't know who's hopping over the fence. Like you, the ninth Wayans. Like, come on, we can't claim the ninth Wayans. You know what I mean? But I think for our family, we're very much just like a regular family.
Yeah.
The only difference is that we tell jokes. You know what I mean? Like Thanksgiving, we'll hike on each other for the first hour before we eat. You know what I mean? But we're very much like any other family. We have the same dramas. We have the same ups, the same downs as any other family. But at the core of it, we are our family, and it's all love.
Right. Yeah, man. Black families are tough. Maddie, the producer.
He's black, y'all.
Well, he's kind of black. You know the deal. You know the deal with
I know the deal. I know the deal.
You know Maddie gets to cheat on his wife with black women.
Love is love. Hey, I want what you got at home, brother.
Yeah, Maddie got a hall pass, but only with black women. Sometimes I wonder about that. Why your wife thinks that it's okay for you to cheat just with black women, because does she revere black women more, or she's saying something about our sisters? I mean, what's going on?
I'm not going to comment on something that's not true. So
wait, no. The word on the street is that is true, bro.
That's what we heard.
Yeah,
I don't know what street Van is walking down.
Oh, what does that mean?
What does what mean?
What you mean you don't know what streets I'm walking down? What is that supposed to mean?
It's whatever fake street is or whatever.
Fake street.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Top 3 black women if you had a pass.
Oh, come on, Maddie.
Who would they be?
Just like personality wise, or
I mean, just like what get your rocks off, brother?
For a second, nigga. Did you just say personality wise?
I didn't know what he was asking. I didn't know what he was asking.
Please answer Damien's question, please.
Please.
Top 3 black women you would like to have sex with. So our sisters are beautiful.
I'm not gonna. Can we recontextualize it to just top 3 black women?
Contextualize.
Why are you squirming? I don't get this.
Because
why are you squirming?
Because I get so much shit from my wife because of this podcast that I need to represent the foundation of our marriage, not be myself in this situation.
I understood.
Now, I will answer the question though. Number 1, Janelle Monáe. She is incredible right now.
She's beautiful.
Yeah, she is. Maddie
so that's who you're going to cheat on your wife with. No, it's understandable.
That's why I want to, I don't know, just collaborate artistically with.
You want to eat her butt? You want to eat Janelle Monáe's butt?
Bro,
oh
you want to do it artfully, too.
Yeah, do it artfully, yeah.
Wow. Okay, now who's number 2?
I like Gabrielle Union a lot. I think she's really fun on social media.
Okay.
I know Gab.
Oh, you know Gabrielle.
Gab's good people. Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, Gab's the homie.
Yeah, never met her. Here's the deal. Now for number 3,
yeah,
you chose 2 queens. We love our queens.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to get a little ratchet for number 3. And that's not to say that this ratchet lady, whoever you choose, won't be a queen, because she is. But I want you to. I want to hear like.
We want you to dig in.
I want to hear like Black China. Or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah. Who's number 3?
Oh Jesus. Man, you got me thinking. I tend to like the more artistically distinguished women out there.
Give
you know what I mean?
Give us
okay, name your third Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, come on.
Oh,
hurry up.
Well, I know I mentioned this before when you asked me who my favorite black women are. I really like Lala Anthony as well. I think she's got a great personality.
Lala, but see, Lala's not black.
She's black.
Lala's Puerto Rican.
They black.
But this is true. They go through our struggle.
It just
black adjacent.
Just stopped one island before it got to us.
True indeed. Okay,
good. There you go. Give it up for Maddie right there. Give it up for Maddie. Don't forget, today's podcast is sponsored by the good people from Bevel. Bevel is the dermatologist-approved shaving system specifically designed for people with coarse, curly, and sensitive skin. It is also a Black-owned business, which is specifically important to me because the Bevel trimmers that I have are as good as any trimmers I've ever bought. They're the best trimmers I've ever used. It's an actual true fact. They sent me some trimmers not too long ago. I've been using them. I've been fresh with them. And it is, like I said, proof that in shopping black does not mean you have to give up quality. There are guys out there making, specifically guys and ladies, black people making incredible products, making incredible things. And we should show our support for them, not because necessarily they look like us, but because they are making outstanding stuff. And even if you're not black, who says that you can't use the Bevel trimmers? You should use them. You should use the trimmers because they are specifically weighted. They're great. Everything about the trimmers is amazing. I love them. You can love them too. You can pick up a Bevel razor or a Bevel trimmer today at getbevel.com/redpill. And make sure you use our URL to get $20 off your Bevel trimmer or Bevel shave kit with free shipping. That's getbevel.com/REDPILL. And we're also sponsored by Talkspace. Today's podcast brought to you by Talkspace, the online therapy company that lets you message a licensed therapist from anywhere at any time. All you need is a computer with an internet connection or the Talkspace mobile app. I myself suffer from anxiety, and I know firsthand how important it is to talk to a therapist. But let's be honest with you, sometimes getting to a therapist is an anxiety-filled ordeal of its own. Talkspace allows you to go straight to the source for a fraction of the cost that it would take for you to talk to a therapist you'd have to go to. To match with the perfect therapist for that fraction of the price of traditional therapy, go to Talkspace.com/pill and use the code PILL to get $45 off your first month and to show your support for this show. That's code PILL and Talkspace.com/PILL. Once again, you cannot scrimp and ignore your mental health. You have got to take care of that. Make sure you have somebody to talk to. Talkspace, therapy for how we live today. So coming up in the 2000s when, you know, your career first really jumped off, because I look at your career as jumping off around the time when you started getting your own recognition.
Okay.
You're getting recognition. Malibu's Most Wanted. You're directing.
I was directing, man.
The dance flick.
My wife and kids too.
My wife and kids. Yeah, you're directing when you really start to get your thing together. How did your life change? That moment when you start to actually separate yourself and become your own guy.
I think you go through that moment of being young in Hollywood and you know, getting the flashy car, and
Which one did you get?
The Range.
Right.
I got the Range. And
your
then
car now is flashier than that, by the way. I'm gonna put you on Front Street.
Come on, brother, don't do this.
Your car now is flashier.
Come on, brother, don't do this.
Listen, let me tell y'all something about Hollywood, right?
It's just a car.
This
man.
is the funny thing about Hollywood.
It's electric.
Is you meet someone and you vibe with them so much, right? You like, yeah, it's like, damn,
I'm eco-friendly.
This is my guy, right? Me and this dude are tight, like we're the same. It's dope. And then you realize you're not the same.
We are the same.
No.
We are.
Because you get in the trusty and dependable Honda Accord.
I love Honda.
And you drive downtown. And then I get out, this nigga got the Tony Stark BMW i8, the black and the, look, see that car that you see? Like, I tell you what.
Suicide doors.
The suicide doors. Does your car have suicide doors?
I like to call them wings.
Okay, well, you ain't no regular nigga. like you can't, like, you're not regular.
No,
nigga.
you are regular, man.
No, you're not.
Yes,
You're not
I
regular.
am. First and foremost, man, I'm about the environment. It's an eco-friendly
Oh, my
car,
Lord.
man. It is.
The BMW i8.
It's eco-friendly.
If you took that car to Baton Rouge right now, they would think it was the second coming of Christ. They would worship you. Like, you take that car to Baton Rouge right now, and be like, oh my God, they're gonna call the FBI. It's an alien. It's UFOs in the city, right? I'm telling you. So, but you...
Well, I had a Prius before that.
Sure. Okay.
I did.
And you got sick of being regular. That's what happened. You was like, fuck this shit.
Not at all.
So you're trying to say there was a time where you did get caught up into Hollywood.
You know, yeah. I mean, to a certain extent, because, you know, I have my family that always, like, pull your coattails. Like, we pull each other's coattails. That's one thing about being in this family. You know, you don't really hear too much crazy stuff in regards to the Wayanses. Let me knock on wood. But it's one of those things where, you know, I had the house in the hills, and, you know, you're throwing parties, and, you know, you're indulging in the fruits of your labor, so
going
to
to Jamie
speak.
Foxx's house and
Jamie, Jamie, you used to have some good parties, bro.
I heard,
man.
It was one of the things that I missed out on.
Yes, you did.
Is the parties at Jamie Foxx's
Oh,
crib.
brother, Jamie used to have a house off Tampa. That was just woo, I remember the street. But yeah, Jamie. I'm nowhere near Jamie. Like, Jamie is, you know, icon level in terms of he up there with throwing parties like Diddy and whatnot. Right. But, you know, I had fun. I had a good time. And then you get to a space where you just see it for all of what it is. You know what I mean? You kind of just go, I don't need all this. You know what I mean? And you kind of just reduce down, and you understand why certain people are around you, and you gotta look over your shoulder, make sure everything's up and up so you don't get taken advantage of. And, you know, you get reality check. And then you've been in the business some time, so certain things just don't impress you the same.
Yeah, because it gets a little old.
Yeah, it does.
You know, it gets a little old. Like, especially when you get used to Los Angeles, you start to get used to things that you never really thought that you could actually get used to.
Right.
Like
Jamba Juice.
Jamba Juice is something I never thought I could get used to. That's actually a perfect fucking example. Like, Jamba Juice is something like you never thought, but it's like it's Jamba Juice. I remember the first time I came out to L.A., when I first got here, my homeboy Tommy, shout out to Tommy, my homeboy Tommy Talley, he took me to get some boba tea.
Oh yeah, man.
And he's like, hey, you want some boba? And I remember he's from Baton Rouge, but he had been out here like a year. So it's really all it takes to kind of get used to everything. So you want to get some boba tea? I'm like, I mean, I'm not about to be drinking no tea. It's the middle of the day. But yeah, whatever. He's like, no, I'm telling you, it's great. It's tea, but there's these little balls of tapioca in it. You're really going to enjoy it. It was the weirdest experience of my life drinking the boba tea.
Did you love it?
Yeah.
You've been boba.
I've been boba ever since then. And now I just try shit. And back home where I'm from?
Nah, we stick to the script.
We got 3 food groups. The 3 food groups
fried, and fried.
Popeyes. That's one food group right there.
A food group.
That's a food group. Well, my default food group in Baton Rouge was Popeyes.
Okay.
Popeyes, and then Catfish was another food group.
Oh, man.
And the third one was strawberry soda.
Man.
Those are the 3 food groups.
Those were the 3 food groups.
Popeyes, Catfish, strawberry soda.
Yeah, man. I mean, I can relate, man. You know, for us, it was the hot sauce, man. It was just like you dousing everything with hot sauce.
So much hot sauce.
So much sodium.
Right.
It literally, like, after you eat a meal, looked like you just took like a 16-hour flight. Like, your cheeks are just like helium cheeks.
Oh, it's true.
For real.
It's true. I love the hot sauce, though. What's your favorite hot sauce?
Oh, Frank's Red Hot sauce.
Really?
Because Frank's Red Hot sauce, it's like a hot sauce, but it ain't a hot sauce. You know,
it's flavorful.
It's flavorful. You know, some of the hot sauces out there, you're like,
too hot.
Yeah, it's too hot. You can't enjoy the food.
There's a misconception that people from Louisiana use a ton of Tabasco sauce. Untrue.
I thought that was a known fact.
We don't use a ton of Tabasco sauce. We use either Crystal hot sauce or Louisiana hot sauce. See, the Crystal hot sauce, Crystal's the best. Crystal's fantastic. Like Tabasco sauce is our biggest export. We export that to people all over the place, and then y'all use it and think it's all dope. Crystal hot sauce, because why? It's flavorful.
Well, here's what I'm going to say to the people. I do not want to have that hot sauce because I see the size Van used to be, okay? And Van was using this hot sauce a lot.
I was.
A whole lot. Van, tell the people how big you used to be.
If 360 pounds.
Woo! 365?
Why you gotta give me 5 extra pounds,
I thought it was 5. Okay,
it was big.
Okay.
Here's the thing. It was being back home, I didn't even realize how big I was.
Man. See how you get so caught up in your environment?
Your environment, because it's not like you get that big back home and then like you get shunned. Nah, it's 365 is everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, and for me, there was a moment that I realized that I was too big. I was getting out of my car. My heart rate shot up. I was like, oh my God. I was like, that shouldn't happen from just getting out the car. So I went. I was like, you know what? I was like, I wonder how much I weigh. I wonder how much I actually weigh. I haven't weighed myself in a while. So I go to Walmart. Okay. And I take one of the scales off the shelf at Walmart and I stand on the scale. And the scale says that I weigh 55 pounds. Okay. 55 pounds. And I'm like, yo, I look at the dude at Walmart. I'm like, yo, this scale is broke. It says that I only weigh 55 pounds. And the guy goes, so this is a 300-pound scale.
Oh, you beat the scale.
I'm like, what? Yeah, I beat the scale, my nigga. He goes, so that means anything that's over 300 pounds, it's just gonna like add it on. So the scale only went up to 300 pounds, right? So because it said 55 pounds, I was 355. I go, these scales haven't been calibrated properly, whatever. There's no way this could possibly be right. So I go to GNC. And I go to GNC, and there's a guy at GNC. And typically,
why GNC?
Because they have a digital scale there. That you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so you can weigh yourself. And I go to GNC, and a typical dude that works at GNC is standing up there. They're never in great shape, the dudes at GNC, right. But they're big enough to let you know that they lift weights. So I go there, and I'm like, yo, man, is this scale accurate? He goes, yeah, it's super accurate, man. I'm 220 diesel. I just used it this morning. And so I'm like, all right, so it's 25 cents, put it in there. I get on there. I'm actually 360. So the Walmart scale was wrong. It was 5 pounds of light. And at that point, that to me was sort of the wake-up call. Like, yo, maybe.
How big are you right now?
I'm about 235.
I told Van that he literally lost the size of my ex. Van lost my ex.
Yo, and you know what? Let me tell you something. Speaking of, do you know what the hardest thing about losing weight is? Losing weight. Do you know?
For real.
The hardest thing about losing weight is this, and this is for anyone. We talk about you being an actor, going through what you have to go through. This is the hardest thing about losing weight, the process. What to be successful at anything in the world, you have to start to love the process. Because, and I'm actually writing a book about this. When you are 350 pounds, 360 pounds, you're not going to lose weight, all the weight, in two seconds.
No.
You're not going to lose it all in 2 weeks.
It has to become part of your lifestyle.
You have to start to identify with the sacrifices and the effort you're going to have to make in order to get this done. If you want to be an actor, if you want to be a basketball player, if you want to be whatever, an engineer, the studying it's going to take to be an engineer, the building of whatever it is you're going to have to start to love that. You're going to have to start to invest into that. And so for me, getting on a scale wasn't the most gratifying thing. The absolute when I decided that I wasn't going to eat this or I wasn't going to eat that, I started to enjoy that. I started to enjoy winning on a daily basis. When everyone else in the office I was working at would run in and go for the snacks, and I didn't go for them, that started to make me feel good.
Right.
You know, and so that's what I'm saying is I would imagine as an actor, that sort of holds true. Like, you don't get every role that you prepare for.
Listen, I tell people all the time, enjoy the journey, because the outcome you can't really control. You can't control the outcome.
Yeah,
that's with anything. If you're directing something, enjoy that whole process, that journey. If you're working out, enjoy that whole process, that whole journey.
Have to.
Because at the end of the day, you don't know what it's going to become. A lot of people don't understand this about actors and directors and people in the business is we only control but so much. You know what I mean? We don't control how it's promoted. You know what I mean? We don't control. Some of us don't even have editor's approval. Like, you'll direct something and then it'll be studio approval. And you'll be like, hey, this ain't the movie I shot. You know what I mean?
Oh, word.
So yeah. Like, you got to reach a certain level of status for them to give you certain perks. You know what I mean? Like, you have director's first draft, right? So you get to go in after the editor makes his edit. Then you get to come in and go, okay, no, change this, change that, boom, 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 boom. And then you can kind of, because again, another thing, another insight, 9 times out of 10, you probably ask any director in the game, is the movie that you shoot, when you look at the first edit of your movie, like, what the hell is this? Like, this ain't, like, what is it? No. Because a lot of it with comedy is timing, certain jokes hit at certain moments and, certain beats that maybe the editor isn't really privy to. You know what I mean? That's why, there's certain editors that are just great at dramas, certain editors that are great at comedy because they understand the timing and what you're actually looking for. And then if you're a director at a certain status, you get to use a certain editor enough to where they understand and know your sensibilities. So again, it brings it all back to enjoy the journey, because a lot of times you can't really control the outcome.
Yeah, you just gotta get better when you can get better. Now, you have a gigantic family.
Huge.
When you guys ever get together, are there white people that call the police on you?
There is always a white person that is ready and willing to call the cops.
Why do we get the police? You know what? They call the police.
I will say this: the memes that they're doing with the white lady now is hilarious.
It's funny.
Did you see the one where she's on?
Right. It's
I had a dream speech. It's funny.
It's funny. What I don't get is that they always seem to call the police on the wrong people. And what I mean is, I'm not gonna act like it's not niggas out there that you might be like, yo, maybe you should call the police on him.
Listen, there's some niggas out there that I would call the cops.
That's what I'm saying. It's like coming home living where I'm at. What I mean to say by that is there are people that appear to be at least scary.
Right.
Whatever race you are. There are scary looking white dudes, right? There are scary looking black guys. There are scary looking Armenian guys. There are scary looking
every nationality.
Dudes that look like they might fuck you up. Dudes and ladies that look like they might fuck you up. Every time they get one of these stories about people calling the police on white people, calling the police on black people, it's like somebody called the police on Bob Marley's granddaughter.
Yeah, like Bob Marley's.
Like somebody called the police on a black family for charcoal.
You know what it is?
Like, what the hell is going on? Like, are we that scary? We cannot be that scary. There's no way we could be that scary.
But it's a certain type of white person that calls the cops. You know what I mean? I feel like it's the type of white people. Yeah, Maddie. Yeah, like him. You know what I mean? But no, it's those that don't take the time to do the research. They don't even know who they call, and they don't. They just see. And they fear, and then they call, and it's like, whoa! They got to do something to trigger the fear. You can't just call the cops on black people sitting at Starbucks.
Right.
Like, what did they do?
Right.
You know what I mean? You got what warrant the call? That's what I'm saying.
Do you know what the scary thing about it? The scary thing about that is when you start to hear about things like that, it starts to really drive home a point, or not really drive home a point. It starts to create the narrative in your mind that there are people sharing America with you that don't really believe that America's your country.
For real.
And so, obviously we know, just historically speaking, that America during its inception wasn't meant for the liberation or for the freedom of black people. That's not what they were talking about when they were talking about that stuff, because we were obviously in slavery. But as things have gone forward, you like to believe that we've come to a point in the country where everyone has realized that in order to have a better America, the best thing is that we have equal protection under the law, is that we have equal opportunity and equal access to things. And you want to believe that there's a very small percentage of Americans that don't believe in that, right? What incidents like this start to sort of crystallize in your mind is that maybe that's not true. Maybe you get the police called up on you when you're not doing anything because there's really a latent belief by some people, more people than we would like to admit, that these things just aren't for you, that Starbucks isn't for you, that like all of these different things, that they're not for you, and anytime they want to exert control over you, all they have to do is pick up the phone.
Call the cops.
Am I jumping out of the window by thinking that?
No, I think you hit it on the head. I mean, we've taken a lot of steps backwards. You know what I mean, in terms of having an equal America.
Sure.
You see it in the Starbucks. You see it with a lot of brothers being killed by the police. It's just so many different things that you can reference to, and I just feel like for us to be on equal ground, like a lot of the petty has to start with calling the cops on brothers sitting in Starbucks. That's petty.
Right.
You know what I mean? We got to grab a hold of the petty and then understand that it's the petty that you end up getting away with that makes you think that, oh, now I could take it up a notch. Now I can take it up. No. Let's start at the grassroots. This is Starbucks.
Right.
I can't come to Starbucks.
Right.
And so for me, we've taken a lot of steps backwards. And that's the unfortunate because, there's a lot of things that you just see that it just makes you shake your head.
So in your family, you guys pretty much do things from the ground up when you're producing films, right? You write, you direct, you star.
Mm-hmm.
On a lot of these, the studio is involved, but on a lot of these movies that you guys do, you're calling the shots and you're controlling most of the creative aspects of things that are going on. What's stopping? Why do black people seem, I'm not going to blanket us, what's stopping black people from Wayansing our communities? Meaning wanting to be in control of every aspect of our communities, wanting to write, direct, produce, and cast our own cultural movie in our existence. Mm-hmm. I think that a lot of these things happen because we're still patronizing things that aren't for us. I don't know if the cops would be called on you if you was in Uncle Willie's Coffee. If you was in, if we own more things, if we supported each other a little bit more. Obviously, I'm not for segregation, but I'm wondering why it seems to be that we're so anxious to explore, patronize, and give sort of reverence to things that are from outside our community.
I think we definitely have made strides, and we try to, you do have your BETs and, things of that nature, but It really comes down to the dollar. It comes down to money. And, like my family, you could write, you could produce, you could direct, you can act and all these things. But if you're not the one funding it, well, someone else is ultimately always has the say. You know what I mean? It's like you doing, the Van Pill, but if you in Harvey's house, you know what I mean? It's Harvey's house. You know what I'm saying? And as articulate as you are and as dope as your podcast is, there's certain restrictions that you may have and you may not be able to spread your wings as much as you want to. So I think, when we get to the point of saying, look, we gonna throw up our own bread, our own money.
You don't think we're there yet? You don't think you don't think that we have, like right now, right now, everything about, let's be real, everything that people enjoyed about what's happened with me, it can go away tomorrow. And the reason why it could go away is because I could be fired from here. So if I get fired from TMZ, this podcast would then go away. I'm in a partnership with this podcast, but we're filming it here at the office. My exposure on television, any of the ideas that you like from me, and the representation that I do for people of color into the office, all that goes away with the decision of someone who's from outside of our culture. Okay, that's a fact. It's just the way it goes. But we could actually have situations economically, I think, where that wouldn't be a thing, to where we could, if we as a block use what we have to create our own media situations, our own, kind of like even Diddy with Revolt and all of that stuff like that, we could be in a position to control our narrative and our understanding and then explain it and translate it to the rest of America if they were willing to hear it. Because you can't beat somebody over the head with your humanity. Either they accept that you're human or they don't.
True.
So how we get there?
I think we're there. I think there's always a way. I'm trying to say this the right way. It really comes down to money.
It's true.
You can't be scared money. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not Jay. I'm not Puff. You know what I mean? These are cats.
I8 though.
But I ain't Jay and I ain't Puff. You know what I mean? I'll trade that I8 in a minute to be Jay and Puff.
Right.
But and those, even Oprah, you know what I mean? There's so many that can, but there's reasons to everything. You know what I mean? And I can't speak to their reasons as to why they just don't go and, buy up a network.
Some of them do.
Some of them. Or when they do, they partner in with other entities that may, own 50, 51%. And you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're talking about who's going to be the person that just goes, I'm doing it all myself. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of risk in that as well.
It's all risk. Entertainment is risk, because the reality of the situation is you're going to have some that love you and some that don't love you. There's Wayans fans and there's a lot of non-Wayans fans. You know what I mean? And when you roll the dice, you just hope that you get the better part of that than the latter. You know what I mean? But when you're throwing out multiple million, I'm talking hundreds of millions of dollars to create a network, that's a risk that a lot of people ain't willing to make.
Sure. And I mean, the money's finite. It's not like it regenerates. Once you lose it, it's gone.
It's gone.
I just, I think that one of the main things that not me, these thoughts aren't original. We've all been talking about this. Is, I guess, the next step in Black American freedom and upliftment is dictating. Meaning, we've been doing a lot of asking for a while. Okay, and this is not to impugn the reputations or the resolve of the people who did the asking, because even asking. Think about this. Think about a time when even asking to be treated as a person could end up in a death sentence.
Absolutely.
Or just even saying, yo, I don't want anything extra.
What?
I just want to be...
What?
Exactly. I don't want nothing extra. I just want to be a person, man. Oh, what nigga? Bam.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think that was a time where that took a tremendous amount of courage. And they asked in ways that were brave. They asked with marches and sit-ins, all things that exposed them. I think we are to the point where we don't have to ask anymore. And I think we're to a point economically and socially where if we had solidarity, we could just dictate.
And that's big. That word right there, solidarity, to get everybody on the equal page. Because you telling one brother over here who's making a shitload of money, you know what I'm saying, rocking one way, and then another one who got a vision and they're not making nowhere near what I'm making over here. You're looking at it like, hey, man, I kind of like what I'm doing over here.
Yeah, right.
Right? So that's
good money over here.
Yeah, that solidarity is key. First and foremost, let me say this. Black people, minorities as a whole, we're so talented in terms of, our race is mimicked across the world. I travel a lot and I see it. You know what I mean? So I understand that the ability is most definitely there. You know what I mean? I'll just take a reference point right off the rip of the head. Donald Glover, the stuff that he's doing is just
amazing.
It's insanely amazing. Yeah. But what I love about him is the fact that he's doing it the way he wants to do it. You know what I mean? This Is America was so dope for me because creatively, the message was well received by me. Right. You know what I mean? I got what he was going for. Right. But not only that, it was entertaining. You know what I mean? And to be able to mix the two.
The song itself is great.
The song itself is great. I could rock to that in the club. Right. You know what I mean? Right. And still understand the message that he's trying to get across. And our people are known to do amazing things just like that. Right. So that solidarity, if we was able to get, some cats to throw that bank up, I don't got the bread. You know what I'm saying? So you speaking to a brother that, would love for that day to happen, wants that day to happen, but, at what expense? You know what I mean? Who's going to be the one willing to take that risk? And if that person, or those people were willing to take that collective risk and they killed it, could you just imagine?
Yeah, it's true. It's something you mentioned something earlier about gentrification. You know what it's time for us to do? Gentrify our own communities.
Hey,
it's time, because what happens in gentrification is they get all the people that own something out of it and they come in and they make it, quote unquote, at least from an optic standpoint, from an aesthetic standpoint, they make it nicer. Property rates go up. Essentially what someone starts doing is financially caring about a community. When I say financially caring about it, that means moving businesses, moving things like that. We could actually gentrify our own communities.
Absolutely, we can.
With new businesses, with new opportunities. It would take us saying, yo, we're putting this place where we live first. Forget about ascending and forget about, the visions of Wakanda over this. Stop thinking about maybe getting to a place, getting out of a place. Start thinking about the place where you are. How beautiful can you make that? I was a couple of weeks ago, was down in Watts. Beautiful people there.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt about the fact that Watts is a dangerous place.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful people in Watts. I saw little black kids playing, bro.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing better for me. I know Maddie hates this, but there's nothing better for this. Oh, no, excuse me. That's not Jason. I forgot Jason's a racist. There's no better sight for me than just little black kids playing.
I love that.
I love little black kids playing. I just love just the way that they look, and they haven't really been soured to anything yet. They haven't had their asses kicked.
They're green. They're green. Yeah.
And you see it, and you just the people in that community, besides the things that are systemically happening to them, and there are systemic things that are happening to them, happening to all of us, happening to a lot of Americans. We have to call upon each other to make those places as dope as Wakanda, to make those places amazing places.
I'm 1,000% with you.
Share with each other.
Got to. But I think that the temptation and the allure of, getting yours right away.
I feel you.
Especially in this entertainment town, you know what I mean? Like, you feel like, I got to do this 100 movies while I got this window to do this 100 movies
and collect.
Yeah, I got to make it now.
There's no infrastructure to support me for the rest. I got to make it now.
Exactly. And once we get past that me stage, that all crabs in a barrel mindset, then those type of things can start to happen.
Whose career, if you're going to point to somebody in Hollywood over the last 10 or 15 years, are you most impressed by?
Donald Glover, because I don't know if cats are really familiar with this dude.
I followed him since
this brother. He used to do stand up. He wrote on shows like Community. He also was on 30 Rock. And here's a ill one.
Was it Human Centipede? Was the name of the show? What was the name of the show that he had? The MTV show.
That was Human Giant.
Oh, what was it? Z's? Donald Glover never had like an MTV. Derek Comedy.
Wasn't there some stuff that he was doing on YouTube too? At
Derek Comedy was the stuff.
But I mean, this may be rumor mill, but I heard that he went to damn near every network with Atlanta, and he was pitching Atlanta, and nobody just got the vision that he was going for. And then I heard that he got to FX, and he just essentially sold them on the plot of it's a rapper in Atlanta,
right?
And then they brought that, and then he was able to go in and do the genius that is Atlanta. Right. And I think Atlanta is such a brilliant show. I can't even express how brilliant I think that show is.
Fantastic.
From the writing to the directing to how he removes himself even from certain episodes, and he'll just direct them, or like the what I felt like was the Michael Jackson episode.
The Teddy Perkins
oh my God, that was so
Fantastic.
Brilliant. But see, why I love Donald Glover is because I really get a feeling that he's doing what he ultimately wants to do. And he's winning at that. Right. And when you win at, that's a creative's dream, to be able to do what you want to do, and you're winning at it, and then all the other things come. Now the Star Wars is coming, and you know what I'm saying? Like, even when you look at This Is America, that's Donald Glover's vision. Right. That's him putting his stamp on this video. Because there's several ways you could have went with that video, right? And still got the message across, but down to the dancing, down to the, just keep all in one warehouse, the movement of the cameras, and all. I really feel like that was
perfect piece of art.
Perfect piece of art. Perfect piece of art. So I look at a brother like that who is multi-hyphenate in so many ways, and I go, that's what I want. That's inspiring.
Yeah, he's incredible. I think that, obviously there's been a discussion about free thought.
You think?
Lately.
You think, Van?
There's been a discussion of free thought. I think that Donald's is thinking freely, and one reason why I know that he's thinking freely is because there are a lot of things that Donald has said over the course of the last 5 or 6 years, and I've been following him to where I've been like, yeah, I remember once he wrote that he wanted to be big and white.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. Now,
I skipped that one. Can you ask me who's my inspiration again?
No, I'm joking. Listen. Obviously, in the moment that he says this, it's a little bit off-putting. And there are other things that are in his comedy that culturally are a little bit off-putting. But what he said that he meant by that, and I didn't get a chance to confront him in the TMZ Live newsroom before.
So you can go even more viral.
No, I'm just saying. What he said by that was that what he meant was blankness. and this is sort of speaks to what we were talking about before.
Right.
There's a misconception that black people in America, or minorities, period, want something specifically because they're minorities, right? That they want something to reflect their condition in America, that's what they feel that they're owed. And I'm not saying that there are not people who are saying, yo, America owes us something, we've been getting fucked over. And this goes for black people, women, Latino brothers and sisters, transgender, LGBT people. There are some people in all of those different groups that say, you know what, it's about time that we got this because we never got it and they owe us something. That's really not what most minorities or most black people that I know want. What they want is what he was talking about. They want blankness. They want the opportunity to exist without being prejudged.
Absolutely.
And so what he said that white people get is they get blankness. They get, when you walk into a room and you're white, you get to be whoever you tell them that you are, whoever you show them to be. And he was like, when you're black, you don't get that. And he was dealing with that at a time where he was feeling marginalized, so he said that. Now, I would never in a million years say that there's anything about me that wants to be white.
Right.
And that's not a judgment on what it is to be white, because I don't know nothing about that. But what it is that my parents did the best job of instilling upon me what it meant to be black. And it's weird because if I would have been paying attention, I might have had more questions. Like when my dad was telling me about, like, you know, early on being dope, he would use like examples, black people being dope. He'd use examples like Jackie Robinson. Right? Now, if I thought about the Jackie Robinson story, I'd have had some questions for Dad. He was like, listen, Jackie Robinson was amazing. Look at all the stuff that he accomplished. Look at the way they treated him and all of this stuff like this. And now I think to myself, it's not like Jackie Robinson wanted to be the president or a senator or a mayor or the first nigga on the moon. Jackie Robinson wanted to play baseball. Think about the level of racism that was alive. They didn't want him to play baseball, a game. They didn't want Jackie Robinson to play a sport. Like, that's how much you think about it now because we know it, right? But think about not wanting someone to throw you a ball, or not wanting to catch a ball from someone, or not wanting to shower in the same shower as somebody. Think about the level of vitriol that it takes for that. Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier in a sport. When you talk about Obama, you can think about a lot of reasons why. There's some white people who probably thought they're racist too, but listen, they don't want somebody with that experience governing the whole nation. It's different. It's whatever. I'm not saying that any of those things are arguable, but when I think about, you know, stories like that back in the day, they didn't even want much. They didn't even want really anything. And I say all that to say, those messages were drilled into my head. So it's very hard for me to envision myself, not hard, it's impossible for me to envision myself as anything other than a black man. However, the blankness part of it, just wanting to walk into a place and just be Van, I fucking feel him on that.
Absolutely. I mean, everything is in context. You know what I mean? And I'm sure, you know, even going to the Kanye interview and all that, you know, the context of what he was trying to say, I think we all get and understand, you know, the equal playing field, or being able to be free in your thoughts and get it out. But there was a lot of mishaps in terms of some of the things that he said that you did and brought to his attention amazingly, by the way. But I think in the context of what, you know, Gambino or Glover, as you would call him. Yes, I agree with you in terms of you want to go into a room and, like me rocking this hoodie right now, not looked at as, oh, this nigga in a hoodie. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because if Bobby Shalaki wore the same hoodie, he's
not going to be looked at the same.
Ain't going to be looked at the same.
You know? So, you know, that's just an important thing. It's like, it's interesting that you said him, because I think he's an incredible creative voice. I just hope that nothing in his personal life or anything like that is going to have people drown him out?
Well, you know, they gonna try. We in that era where anything that is good, they gonna try to knock you down.
Right.
You know what I mean? And in this viral age, in this internet, in this, you know, trolling era that we in, they gonna try to get them. Of course. The gift and the curse of being in the business is they build you up to knock you down. Right. You know, and as you go up that ladder of success, you have to understand that is what's to come, and you have to prep yourself for that. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of times when you get knocked off course is when you're not ready, and you're kind of like, whoa, where's all this coming from? You know what I mean? And a lot of times it's the same thing that builds you up is the same thing they use to bring you down. So you're really confused. Like, what the fuck?
Right. Yep, yeah. What's the best Wayans Brothers movie?
Best Wayans Brothers movie?
The best movie that y'all ever did.
That I think?
Yeah. Wayans family best. I know what it is. I know what the answer is.
I mean, I'm going to go. My top 3 would probably be. Ooh, this is tough, brother. I may go. I'm going to Get You Sucker.
That's the best one. That's the best one. That's the best.
See, that's why we here, man.
Bruh, hey, Jason, you ever see I'm Gonna Get You Sucker?
Hey, listen here. Damn. You do not get your black card until you see I'm Gonna Get You Sucker.
I'm Gonna Get You Sucker.
That's your homework tonight.
That's your homework. What year? Nah, nigga, we ain't talking about.
Yeah, we ain't talking about years. It's in the 80s.
It's in the 80s.
I think it's like 88, 89, something like that.
It was on a loop. Damien, is Damon, Keenan. Chris Rock is
Marlon and Sean were extras in that movie. Yes. Look at the scene, freeze frame the scene where with the fish with the shoe, the dude with the
Antonio Vargas.
Yeah, Antonio Vargas comes out of prison. The first 2 people laughing when he gets out of prison is Marlon and Sean.
What?
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed. Matt, you ever see Matt, you see I'm Gonna Get You Sucker?
I haven't either.
You know what? You got the wrong white people around.
Brandon.
I've seen scenes.
Hold on, man.
God.
This is the one brother in the room, and he hasn't seen it.
Brandon, get the fuck out.
That shit came on when I was 4.
So what?
Listen, man.
So what?
There's certain things you just got to research.
Let me ask you a question. Did you see The Godfather?
Yeah.
That nigga, that shit came on before you was fucking born.
I saw The Godfather literally like 2 months ago.
But you ain't say I'm Gonna Get You Sucker 2 months ago.
Is it on Netflix? Then I'll watch it.
Yeah,
this is problematic.
This is very upsetting.
This is problematic. I'm not.
Upset.
Why am I here?
I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. Great. Isaac Hayes. Bernie Casey. Just the whole
thing was dope, man. It was
dope.
such a dope movie.
Don Lewis. Shout out to Don.
Don Lewis. Yes, indeed.
God,
man. Right? Say, look at you going down memory lane.
I love that movie.
You know, that's the beauty of the Wayans family, man. One day when it's all said and done, you just gonna go down memory lane.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, it was amazing. So what are the other 2? Like, so you said top 3.
I'm gonna go Major Payne. I'm gonna go Don't Be a Menace, and then I'm gonna slide in White Chicks.
White Chicks is
right
good.
in it. Yeah. People love White Chicks. I mean, you go overseas, they White Cheeks. Like we was in Brazil, and literally they started singing that song, and I miss you,
right.
in the club.
Right.
It was crazy.
White Chicks controversial.
White Cheeks.
White Chicks. I love that movie though. White Chicks controversial. What's the worst?
Woo-wee. There's a few, man.
What's the worst one?
This is what I will say. This is a politically correct answer. I will say that most of the movies that the family has produced, written, or directed are good. It's the ones that they've done outside of the Wayans shingle where they went and just acted on something else that was kind of like, I don't know about
Give
that
me
one.
some.
Hey, man, come on, brother.
Name names.
Well, there was this movie called Marcy X that my Uncle Damon
my
did.
nigga.
And I was like...
have you ever seen that Marcy X shit? I was like... That was with Lisa Kudrow?
Yes.
And like, bruh, my God. That was when I was like, yo... damn.
Well, let me say this first and foremost. I love my Uncle Damon, man. I love you to death, brother. My Uncle Damon gave me my shot at directing my wife and kids, and he gave me my shot on Major Payne. So shout out Uncle Damon. But Marcy X was whoo.
You know what's an underrated Damien Wayans movie? The Great White Hype.
The Great White Hype. Remember the Great White Hype?
Blank Man
was good,
underrated.
man. You know.
You like that?
You like that one?
It's because of Robin Givens, huh? It's because Robin Givens is in it.
Who's she in the movie?
She was the love interest.
You know what? I gotta get some brothers in this.
I don't know what's going on with the van. The van production is
weird. You don't know who Robin Givens is?
I do, but I didn't remember her in the context of the movie.
Okay, cool. If this is what you have to do to not get fired.
Oh, you know another good one.
What?
Mo Money, man.
Mo Money is fake.
Money.
Whoa.
Come on.
Here's the thing about Mo Money. Mo Money is hard to watch now.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna say. You gonna talk about Stacey?
Yep. Mo Money is hard to watch now. Y'all, Stacey Dash was so fucking fine.
She was fine.
Why did God do this to Stacey Dash?
She was so
Stacey
fine.
Dash was so fine. And then in Clueless, and then even as recently as All Falls Down, we lost the whole video.
I didn't see All Falls Down.
The music video, the Kanye music video.
Yes, I did see All Falls
Down. We lost the whole video.
Yeah.
We lost Stacey. We've seemingly lost Ye, unless he wakes up. The only nigga in the whole video holding it down is Common. He in the video 3 seconds. We lost like the whole All Falls Down video. Stacey Dash.
Man, she was fine.
Oh my God. Mo Money, beautiful movie though.
Yes, indeed.
It's a good movie. That's Marlon's first movie?
That was Marlon's first, his first leading role.
His first leading role.
Yeah, well, co-lead.
Right.
Yeah.
So he said something in that movie I'll never forget because I got suspended from school for saying this.
What was it?
He said the cops were interrogating him. And he said something about white. He says, no, it's white people. Y'all act the same. You smell
like a bologna.
And I was like, I went back to school and like we were in biology class. I never forget the girl's name. Her name was Anna Fornius. And I was like, man, Anna, you cute, but you smell like bologna. And she was like, what? I was like, yeah, you white, man. Y'all smell like bologna. And she looked at me and just burst into tears.
Oh.
And then she goes up and she goes, I don't know what's going on. Van just said I'm white and I smell like bologna. And they sent me to the office.
That was pretty rude, man.
And my mom was like, where are you getting this stuff from?
You know, Marlon had another funny line in that one. He said, yo, Seymour, a job ain't nothing but work.
A job ain't nothing but work. Mo Money was the shit, man.
That was good, man. That was good.
So we're going to play a game. We played the game on the last one.
All right.
It's called Which Wayans.
Yes. You mean which Wayans you actually wanted to be here, but I'm the one that shut up. Okay. That's cool.
No, that's not.
However you want to play the game.
That's not
however you want to play the game.
At all. Is which Wayans uncle? Because you are the nephew.
I am a nephew. Yes.
Nephew. Which Wayans uncle are you going to call if you need advice on a certain thing?
Oh, let's go.
Which Wayans? So you having women problems. Which uncle do you call?
Women problems. Uncle Keenan. Uncle Keenan, you know what you gotta do? You got to be nice.
Why Keenan?
Because Keenan's the guru. He's the godfather. He's been through it all. He sees everything. He understands. And he chews at least 50 chews before he swallows. Any person that does that, you got to listen to because they take their time. They assess. They absorb what you're saying to them. They got patience. And when you're talking about women, you got to have patience.
I have patience. You blow an audition.
Blow an audition.
Which
Uncle
one?
Damon. Yeah.
Why?
It's whatever, nigga. Just go get something else. Stop crying, nigga.
Money problems, bro. Who you gonna call?
Money problems?
Yeah.
Money problems. I'm gonna call Sean. Yeah, I'm gonna call Sean.
So Sean keeping it real money-wise.
Because here's the reality, Sean. You don't see Sean doing flashy stuff.
Not a lot.
Sean is in his cubicle. You know, if he ain't on the road or if he ain't taking care of his kids, I'm in the house. D-Rock. That's dub. You know why you need all that, D-Rock? You don't need that, D-Rock. Stop spending your money, D-Rock.
God, you're having a spiritual crisis.
A spiritual crisis.
A spiritual crisis. Which uncle do you call?
I'm in between Uncle Damon and Uncle Keenan. Because you know, Uncle Damon was a Jehovah's Witness, or he may still be a Jehovah's Witness. But yeah, so,
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Are y'all whole family Jehovah's Witnesses?
No.
What is it with the prevalence of Jehovah's Witnesses in terms of creative excellence.
You know what's crazy?
It's a bunch of Jehovah's Witnesses. The Jackson family.
Yeah, man.
All Jehovah's Witnesses. Childish Gambino, we just talked about him a little bit. Jehovah's Witness. Tiffany Haddish. Jehovah's Witness.
You know what I think it is?
Like, what is it deal with this? It's a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses.
I think I got it.
What?
I think I got it. Even before you got the full thought of your sentence out, I think I know where you're going with this. What is the connection with Jehovah's Witness and these brilliant artists, right?
Yeah, what is it? Why is it all Jehovah's? Do I need to convert?
You might have to, because there's a lot of restriction within being a Jehovah's Witness. Like, you don't really celebrate like Christmases and things of that nature. So I feel like the mind
has to wander.
Yes. And when the mind wanders, and if you look at Donald Glover specifically, you know, I think he did an interview about this on one of his talk shows. Like, your mind takes off and you start creating this world. And then for him, he was able to let that world out. You know what I mean? So I think it's a lot of that. It's a lot of what you want to do, but what you can't do. And when you get that moment to just open and go, you've already thought it out.
I have a very scary story involving Jehovah's Witnesses that happened to me when I was maybe like 13. Y'all want to hear a story? Yeah.
I think we have no choice. It's called the Van Pill.
I'm just tell you a story. So when I was 13 or 14, the Janet Jackson Scream video came out. Do you remember this video, Maddie?
When she wore the leather?
She wore the leather. And there was a part where she grabs her own breast in the video. So at this point, this was before the great pornography awakening in my life. So I would basically jack off to this video whenever it came.
Disgusting.
I mean, I would. Not just Scream either. There was like a 2-year period where I was jacking off to every video Janet was putting out. I jack off to fucking
If I was your girl.
When they jack off to that. I jack off to If. I jacked off to what was it? You Want This video, the one where they're in the desert, is in black and white. So
you're disgusting.
I am, bro. It was a weird period where I was getting any material that I could. So the thing was about the video was that there was a lot of Michael in the video, so you had to time it. You know what I'm saying? You had to time it to just when either she was gonna do the whole breast thing, because I couldn't believe Janet Jackson was grabbing her breast.
So was there a point where Michael was on the screen? You held it.
Yeah, there was a point where you had to be like, "Oh, that's Michael." And then there was a point that maybe you were confused. Is that Michael or Janet? Oh. No, I'm just joking. Like the video comes on, I'm like, shit, let's go, because you gotta be quick, because remember now, no internet, so if you're gonna watch the video, then it's gonna be gone. You don't know when it's coming back on. Right. It wasn't like you just pop it up on YouTube and watch the video.
Why don't you just tape it?
You never record?
Huh?
Yeah, I was about to say.
I had a whole mixtape, but this story is actually harkens back to, I think we told on another podcast, the VCR in the living room where I was didn't work. Okay, it didn't work. So I had a whole mixtape. It wasn't just music videos. It was like MTV's The Grind. It was all different types of things.
The Grind.
You remember The Grind?
The Grind.
You remember The Grind?
I'm just connecting the tissue.
Right.
Tissue. See, tissue.
Exactly.
Grind. Janet.
Yeah, the whole deal. Right. So I'm doing my thing. I have a short amount of time. I'm trying to get to the, and there's a knock at the door. There's a knock at the door, and I'm like, nah, I'm not. But the TV's on, so whoever it is at the door is not gonna stop knocking on the door. This is Saturday morning, and I'm pissed off. I have to stop. So I get up and I go to the door. I'm like, yo, what? It's like, yo, we got issues of the Watchtower here for you, Jehovah's Witnesses. Like, we got issues of the Watchtower here for you. You want some of these issues of the Watchtower? It's like, nah, man, I don't want none of that. Please leave. like, I don't want none of that. Please leave. Are your parents home? Like, no, my parents aren't home. Boom. And I hang up the door in this dude's face. And never forget this guy. This guy was like a smaller, older black dude, bald head. And I go back in. I'm trying to catch another video to finish this whole thing off. And when I'm standing in front, I'm standing up. This is disgusting.
This is so disgusting.
Like I'm standing up in front of the television, and I'm doing my thing, and I hear a knock at the window. And I turn around, And it's this guy.
And you got your piece in your hand.
I got my piece in my head. I got a piece in my head. And he's like, yo, I left some watchtowers there for your parents if you want to read. Like, you can read them. Well, I pray that you care about your salvation. I've never felt more like a sinner in my entire life. I'm down there on the ground, and it's, it is what it is. But I just thought, ever since that moment, I'd be like, Jehovah's Witnesses, they come at the most inopportune times, man. I was trying to.
Now, did you use a piece of the watchtower to clean up the aftermath?
I didn't. It was outside. But I will say that later on, I did witness my brother roll weed on that watchtower.
Well, now,
and
I rebuke thee.
I'm like, yo, bro, like, chill. It was like, man, I don't know what this thing about, man. Shit. Yeah. Talking about some roll weed on. Brother, what do you see? What do you want for your career? Obviously, you want to be working. Obviously, you want to do iconic things. But if you had it your way, I know you're big time friends with Kevin Hart. That must be an inspiration.
Absolutely.
What do you see yourself? What's going to be your deal like? Because it seems like everybody else in the Wayans family, or every Wayans, or every performer, shall I say, let's take it out.
Is working and killing it, but me? Is that what you're going to say? I see where you're going with this, man. I'm tired of getting hit.
I'm saying they have their individual things.
Success?
That people, no.
Come on,
that
man.
People seem to really, like, Keenan is known as the collator of all these things, and he puts together the mastermind. Damien is known as a straight up performing dynamo. He was like, maybe at one point
he was in that Kev realm. Yeah, he was in his Eddie Jello. Yeah. He was huge. Yeah.
It seems like Marlon is carrying the sitcom straight up family.
Oh, now Damon Jr. got something coming out on CBS.
Damon Jr. also is doing this thing. All of these guys are doing their thing. Like, what do you feel like? What part of the art is going to be your thing?
Can I be honest?
Sure.
And this is a moment of honesty, man. And it has nothing to do with industry. What I want in 5 years is just to be happy. You know what I mean? Like, in this business, it takes so much out of you, and you're constantly wanting to be validated, and you're constantly chasing somebody else and, looking at the next person's lane. For me, I just want to rock my lane to the point of being happy. And whatever comes with that, that's what I'm after. And it's not the biggest role. It's not the biggest check, because we all know that that's not where happiness comes from. Happiness comes from within. You know what I mean? When I travel a lot, I get different perspective, and it's those perspectives that I bring back home. You know what I mean? I get to see what poverty is overseas. You know what I mean? I get to appreciate what I have when I come back. So for me, it's really about being happy, man.
Wow. Give it up for Damien Wayans, man.
Thank you, guys.
Give it up for Damien Wayans. That's the best answer. Wouldn't it be easier to be happy with a fat ass Academy Award?
It would be easier to be happy with an Academy Award with $100 million.
Brother, I'm telling you, man. Do you have anything that you want to put the people on? What should we be looking out for from you?
Constantly be looking out for just the family as a whole. Even when we don't talk about things, we're cooking up stuff. You know what I mean? So this
is code.
Yeah.
This is, nigga, we got some shit we about to push out here with, but I got that producer credit and I'm not about to say shit yet.
Or more so, don't talk about it. Just be about it. You know what I mean? I'd rather be the guy you sitting on your couch and you cut on your TV and go, oh, there go D, than to tell you everything that I got coming out, and then it maybe flops, or it doesn't come out, or I get cut out of something, or whatnot. But the Wayans family, the beauty of us is we're always working. And if you don't see one Wayans, you'll see another one. You know what I mean? You got Marlon coming out on NBC in June. You got Damon Jr.'s pilot that just got picked up. Lethal Weapon just got picked up for season 3.
I love Lethal Weapon. I don't know. I shouldn't have liked that show. There's no reason for me to like that show. That show was a good show, dog.
Well, you know what? I think what they did with that one, unlike a lot of the other remixes, they really allowed the characters to really immerse themselves in. Like, you don't see the characters trying to be, you know, the other guy. Like, you don't see Uncle Damon trying to be Danny Glover. Right. You know what I mean? That's just Damon Wayans, a older, charming, charismatic, funny family man that you just love watching. You know what I mean? So I think that's maybe why you ended up liking something that you ain't think you was gonna like.
Yeah, man, that shit wasn't supposed to be good. Give it up for Damien Dante Wayans.
Love is love.
Give it up for Damien Dante Wayans.